Welcome to the New Author Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Casey. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Author Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July the 8th, 2026. This is episode number 360 of the podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Jerry Evanoff, and with me, as he is each week, is Rich Casey. And, well, actually, no, he's Truman Capote today. Truman, how are you?
I'm doing well, and the reason why I'm Truman Capote today is because I actually had an offer by one of the sheriff deputies that found out I was writer to write stories, wanting to know if I wanted to come to the jail sometime and interview some stone cold killers. And he was joking, but I thought in my head, okay, we'll do another In Cold Blood and see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. Damn, all right. So how you been?
Been doing okay. Better this week than last. Last week I was kind of under the weather most of the week. It's been hotter than snot here. I mean, we're talking about heat index values 110 plus for the last 2 weeks straight. And every time I have a day off, of course, I got to go out and work in the garden, do stuff for my wife. And so that usually lays me out for the next couple of days after that, which is okay because I'm back at work and I can be, lazy there.
Yeah, that's nice. That's not how I am.
But
too.
the problem is that we're kind of understaffed, so I'm not having any time at all to write, and it's really
you don't get to be as lazy as you want to be.
Yeah, I have to be on the public desk all the time, and yeah, it's no good. Hopefully, we did. I think I mentioned we were having a millage vote. It was right at the end of June, and that passed 2-1. So we're all set up for the next 10 years. Getting 50 plus million a year.
Only 3 people voted?
Yeah. Yeah, only 3 people voted.
I thought you lived in a big city. I'm confused.
It was, I think the exact numbers were 64% yes, 36% no.
Oh, so that's nice. That's actually, that's gotta, I mean, maybe not for you because you're just an employee, but that's gotta feel good for, somebody up there who's doing library stuff that, hey, people like us.
Well, it's for all the career people, the younger people who are actually doing it as a career. Yeah, they're setting out for the next 10 years. They don't have to worry about it. So that was good. And plus we all get raises because of that. So
there you go. Can I get part of that? We had the same heat you had last week. It was mid to high 90s all day regular temperature, and then into the hundreds with the heat index. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday it got maybe a degree or two colder, and Wednesday a little bit less. And then by Monday it actually cooled into the 70s and 80s. But today it's like 85. It's hot today, but last week was thank God for air conditioning. Holy cow! Yeah.
Oh, I don't see how people survived, especially down here without air conditioning. And people aren't surviving in Europe; they're having a real tough time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to jump into some stats here, but first I'm going to talk about my normal beginning of the month recap that I do. The first time we podcast in a month, I like to do this little recap. This might be the last time. I think I said it last time. This might be the last time I do this because I'm kind of getting now into the weeds of these books. And, by the time I get to book 6, no one cares about book 1 and 2, the story of them. So, so what I did a bunch of years ago is I wrote book 1 in this murder mystery series, published it in May of 2023, started writing book 2, and you and I were podcasting in 2024. And we got to the end of the year and started talking about goals. And I kind of realized at that point, I didn't want to write book 2 and publish it and then write book 3 and publish it. I wanted to have an overarching story that ran through the entire series, almost like a TV show. That's how I've always thought of this, as like a 9 to 12 episode TV show. So I put book 2 aside and I wrote the first drafts of books 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I wrote 3 novellas. I plotted a 4th one, but I haven't written that one yet. But I plotted a 4th one, and that brought us to last year. That brought us back to the end of last year, where I went back to book 2, began editing it, went through a developmental edit that changed a lot of stuff, and then published it in, I think, April I don't remember when I published it. I think it might have been May again, maybe April or May of this year. Then I started working on book 3, and I already had a 40,000 word first draft written. I sent it off to super editor C and said, okay, here's my chapter by chapter summary. Can you do a developmental on that instead of me writing the whole thing? And it's a good thing I did, because I've essentially thrown all 40,000 words into the garbage can and I'm rewriting it from scratch. I started the rewrite a couple of weeks ago, and I am currently, I believe, on chapter 11 out of 27 plotted chapters. The hope is the thing I'm shooting for, and if you're when you hear about my last couple of days, you're going to wonder if I'm actually shooting for it, is to be done by July 31st with this first draft. and then have about 3 months to edit it. I have to get it to her by November 2nd for the edit. And then I've already got pre-orders on it. You can go pre-order it right now. It's November 24th is the day it comes out. And then I've already got book 4 written, but who knows what's going to happen with it after what happened with book 3. Who knows? So that is where I am right now. 2 books are published. Book 3 is on a pre-order, and the next 5, 6 are written, but who knows what's going to happen. So,
after your experience with book 3 here, though, you should be able to look at 4 and all the other books as you go forward and kind of, yourself without even C's influence, be able to identify, where it might need to be tweaked.
Yeah, I'll do another developmental edit with her. She, if you do a developmental edit with a full manuscript, you're paying half a penny a word, whatever it is. It cost me about $550 for that developmental edit on book 2. But when it came to book 3, I just sent her the chapter by chapter summary, and she edited the plot. That's right. All developmental edit is, plot and characters. And it was only $250. So I'll do that again with her on book 4. But you're right. The first thing I will do is, as I'm writing out the chapter by chapter, I will make changes based on the changes I've made with her on book 2 and book 3. Again, I'm slowly learning this. I don't believe I'm very good at this right now. So I'm slowly learning. And I'm talking about like coming up with a good story with all the stuff, the clues and the backstories and the relationships. I don't believe that I'm very good at that right now. So I'll definitely make more changes to book 4 when I get to that part of the developmental edit with her, and try to be a little bit better at it and hope that she likes it a little bit more than she did, or she dislikes it a little bit less than she did book 3.
Yeah.
And then hopefully I get better through book 5. And by the time I get done, I'll be ready to switch genres to something else. So.
And even at $500 for a development edit, that's cheap. That's like about half to a third the price of what I see most editors charging. So.
Yeah, she's the best. I'll happily. Is this it? Right? What is it? It's. Let me see if I can remember what her website is. It's very simple. I'm just typing. I'm doing a Google. Yeah, it's CB Moore. C as in cat, B as in boy, Moore, all one word, MOORE -editor.com. And she's great. I mean, she's. I posted a review for her on Kboards a couple of days ago, and I kind of wrote, the best part about her is that she does tell you when she thinks you've made mistakes, but she does it in a way where you don't feel like you're being talked down to or being told how bad you are, even though I think that myself now, but she doesn't, it's not because of her. Yeah. So I would definitely suggest just her. And I think her information's in the show notes if you want to check her out. But yeah, you definitely, and if you do, tell her that Rich and I sent you there because we like free stuff, and she does that sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, she gave me a free developmental edit on book 1 because I sent 5 or 6 people to her in the 2020, 2019, 2021 area. So yeah, definitely. Okay. So let me jump into my stats now here. And it's pretty good 2 weeks. I said 6,500 words would be my goal for last week. It would have been the same for this week. So 13,000 would be my goal for the last 2 weeks. And I actually got 13,970 words for book 3. It's up to 21,622. About a third of the way done, maybe a little over a third of the way done. My word count for the year is up 9,471. That's wrong. It's up 13,970 to 29,210. That's more than 60% of the new words I wanted to get this year. But again, I did not plan to rewrite book 3. I thought it was going to come from somewhere else. So I will smash the 45,000 word count probably in the next couple of weeks. I'll get past, maybe the next 4 weeks, I'll get past that. My words per hour actually went up from 1,190 to 1,261, all because of one really, really good, I think it was a Friday that I had that I'll talk about later on. And then again, my goal was 13,000 words for the 2 weeks, and I beat that pretty good by 970 words. So yeah, overall, pretty good 2 weeks for me in terms of making progress. I'm also as I'm using my writing app, and that's all, strictly using that. The only thing I use Scrivener for now is to back up my pages just in case I make a change that deletes data, because I have done that in the past. So I open Scrivener, copy my chapter in there, and then close Scrivener. But I'm strictly using my writing app right now for everything I'm doing. I'm having a blast with it. Nice. I really am. Yeah.
My only goal for the previous weekend for this week too was just to write something, since I'd been so far off the horse for so long. And I actually did that, surprisingly enough. Pen and paper. I wrote about 6 or 7 pages in my notebook, which probably corresponds to about 1,200 words. So not a whole lot. What I'm doing is I went back to it. I got off the story that I was editing just because I was kind of losing momentum on it. I went back to a previous thing I had started, 13 Days of Madness. which basically is in flavor is kind of like Lost in Translation, if you've ever seen that with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, except a lot more comedic. So I have been back writing. I'm still not doing it too seriously, mainly because my wife is keeping me super busy on the outside. I guess she thinks that she's got to get this stuff done here while it's summertime before we hit fall, and then the days get short and I'm not available to do anything during daylight hours. But yeah, so I'm happy to actually be back at it. I'm actually happy to be writing pen on paper. That's always fun, and it makes me feel good just to do the writing. Even if I just repeat words over and over again, for some reason it's soothing to do. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Is it the are you using the what do you call it, like the quill that you dip in the ink type thing? Is that what you're doing?
No, actually I'm not. I'm just using a gel pen, which I kind of like.
Okay.
For some reason. Yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at a coffee mug that's full of like maybe $500 or $600 worth of fountain pens, and I haven't used one of them yet. So
that's okay. All right, so let me jump into my recap. I'm going to go through as much as I can for the last 13 days. I'm sure stuff from a couple weeks ago, I may not remember everything, but just kind of bear with me here. So 2 Fridays ago, I did work from home. I worked a half a day. I was listening to the self-publishing show, which I hadn't listened to in a few weeks, with James Blatch and Sissy Mecca, and she mentioned her romance series or whatever, and she said, hey, if you want, go to meccaromance.com. And I thought that's a really great URL. It's easy to remember. So I immediately just went, I'm going to go buy samnorrisbooks.com. I like how it sounds. I can tell people to go there. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I thought I'm going to do it. So I bought it, just the URL, just the domain. I think I bought it for 3 years. And at the time I hadn't done anything with it. I have since then, but at the time I hadn't done anything with it. And again, like I said, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I just like being able to say samnorrisbooks.com. I think it flows off the tongue. I think it's easy to remember. I think it's easier to spell than jerryevanoff.com. So, so I like that. What are you doing? Oh, I thought you were changing something.
No. I was trying to click on it, but it's not live. So.
Oh, it should be.
Well, it's not live.
The
on
link
my
not
end
live
for some reason. Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on, because it should be. I think it should. Yeah, it's just a redirect, but I don't know if the link is not working.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a weirdness of Google Docs or whatever this is in, that you have to click on it and then it pops up the link.
Right. And then it says like click link or follow link or whatever. Yeah. So then that was in the morning. That was when was it? That was Friday in the morning, I guess it was. And then I was off to Buffalo Wild Wings. A couple of things I did though before I started writing. I was kind of waiting for my food. I was eating. I went into my writing app and I generated a plot grid for my story, because that's where I'm keeping like my word count. I noticed a bunch of changes that I wanted to make to that page. I really hadn't done much with that page except put in 5 or 6 columns, the first 5 or 6 columns of the story grid I put in there before I got into my own stuff. And so I went into my Kanban board, which at the time was like kanbanboard.com or something. I was just using a free one, not using that anymore. And I put a whole bunch of the changes in. Then I played around with the new story. So I remember I had a new story idea the day before that. I think I told it to you about it after we podcast. It had to do with kind of an alternate universe, 2 characters playing in the same time kind of thing. Uh-huh. And I, shiny new things. I played a little bit more with that, which I really enjoyed. I kind of set up the plot and the genre and a couple of main characters. Now that I'm looking back at it, I probably don't like it and would want to do something else with it. And then I did go ahead and start the writing after I ate, and I ended up finishing chapter 4. Then I wrote chapter 5, and it was a total of 1,682 words between the 2 chapters on that day. I always like that. I don't know if people care, but I always like to talk about the times, or when I remember to. So I'm going to open up my calendar here, because that's where I keep track. Come on, refresh. There we go. That would be in 70. That's the thing about my writing app, is now I'm not estimating 60 or 70. That was 73 minutes, because I have a start and stop button. And when I hit stop, it gives me stats, because I love stats. So that was 73 minutes, 1,682 words. Got home that night and I played the second half of my golf game, updated the stats, and I posted that video. I did a grocery order. Then I made some changes to my writing app. So I opened up, at the time it was ChatGPT inside of my VS Code app. and just told it, make these changes. It was all based on the stuff that I put in the Kanban board while I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. And it's so quick to do that. Again, I've said before, it's so cool in the moment to be coding, basically just vibe coding. I like to say that I'm a vessel. I just tell it what to do and it does it, and I love it. And it's a lot of fun. I've been having more fun lately programming than I have in the last 25 years programming, except I'm not really programming. I'm a vessel. But it's also very scary for my future. So, yeah. So and I went to bed pretty early. I golfed in the morning. Ended up shooting a 39 on the front nine, including a birdie that was about an inch or two from being an eagle. I was so excited. It was about 125 yards out, and I put it to within 2 inches, and made the putt. But I fell apart on the back nine for a 46. I had an 85. I mean, I always take an 85.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Home later that day, and this is the big one right here. 131 minutes, so 2 hours and 11 minutes, and I wrote a massive 3,649 words.
Wow.
I was kind of on a roll once I got going. A whole bunch of stuff happened. There's multiple scenes in there, and I just kept going and going. And when I was done, I was actually surprised at how many words I had actually done, which was really nice. At the time, I was still putting changes into my Kanban page. And it's, getting easier to use where I just type the change in there. And then in the evening, I sit down at my computer, my tower that's in my living room, my dining room. And I just basically say to ChatGPT, here, make those changes. And it just one right after another, you cross them off the board and now they're done, because I'm not doing anything major, not yet, because there's a couple coming, but I'm not really doing anything super major. I'm just like, I found a bug here. It didn't save right here. I wish this could, I made it so that you can put an asterisk and then the word plotting in, so that when I calculate the word count on my plot grid, I say plot grid because story grid is probably somebody else's plot grid, it will not count the words below the word plotting. So if I have 2,000 words, but 1,000 of it is my plot that I copied in there that I'm working off of, it'll only count the first 1,000. So little things that it knows how to do. So then when it does my plot grid and it gives me the word count, it's not giving me all those extra words that I'm going to be deleting later because they're just plot that I'm working off of. Right. So just little things like that. Played my football game again, played the first half between the 1989 Giants and the 1989 Eagles. That was a fun one. And then Sunday I slept. I ended up hanging up these dark curtains in my window, the window that I put an air conditioner in the previous night. And about 5:45 every morning, the sun just beats through that thing and just keeps me awake because it's pretty much daylight in there now in the summer. And hanging those dark curtains up has been amazing because now I actually sleep later. It's dark. It's really dark. It does a great job. It's really dark in there. I didn't think we were going to golf that day because I think it was because of the rain. So I ended up doing a lunch writing session, which allowed me to do some random things in the morning. Go write and then come home and play my football game in the evening. I have a football draft app that I worked on last year for one of my fantasy football leagues. We're getting close. We're getting close to football again. So I broke that out, was working on that. What else did I do? I went to
I finally decided that these fantasy leagues have gone a step too far when I noticed today that they're having fantasy golf leagues.
I've been in a fantasy golf league for years.
Have you really?
Actually, I'm in two, but one of them only does the 4 majors, but the other one is every week. I turn in golfers every week. Yeah.
So it's not a step too far.
It's definitely not too far. It's wonderful. So, and then while I was doing that, this is actually where I bought samnorrisbooks.com. And then I went to Hothead and inhaled a burrito because I love Hothead burritos. I wish there was one here in town. Probably good that there isn't.
Yeah.
Opened up my writing app, and so I had written chapter 7 the previous day, not realizing that when I scrolled into my plot outline, I grabbed the outline for 6 or for 7, thinking it was 6. Something I mixed them up. I mixed up 6 and 7 basically. But then I started reading through it. And I'm like, I kind of like the way this works. This chapter it was a complete accident, but it kind of makes sense where this chapter should come before this chapter. So maybe it was like a Freudian slip. I don't know, but it was a complete mistake that turned out to be good. So then I went in and I wrote chapter 6. And by the time I was done, I wrote 2,130 words in about an hour and 105 minutes. And at this point, I'd blown by the 6,500 words goal that I was going to do for that first week, through the first 7 chapters. So I don't know how far I was in at the time, but I was 25% of the way through and I had about 15,000 words. I felt good because that's about 60,000 words, which is kind of where I'm going with it. Once I got home, I didn't do much. I did play another quarter of my Giants Eagles games. Big defense. I don't like defensive struggles when I'm playing these games because it's just boring. There's not enough scoring. It's just punt. It's boring. So that one was kind of defensive struggle. And then our golf was canceled. It was actually canceled because everybody but me couldn't play.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So, and I'm not gonna go play myself at like 4:00 in the afternoon. And I honestly, at this point, I'm just not sure about the afternoon golf on Sunday. We did it twice. I didn't really like it because I'm getting home at like 8:30, 9:00. I'd like to go to work the next day. And the last thing I want to do is get home at like 9:00 and then get up at 5:45 or 4:45. So yeah, so I'm glad we canceled. On Monday, this is last Monday, I worked from home. At lunch, I met with Ellie, my marketing person I met through Reedsy. This is my 4th and final meeting with her. For now, I'll probably call her back in a couple of months and try to schedule 4 more. But I asked her 3 very simple questions. I mean, no, it really should have been about a 15-minute meeting, you know. Number 1, how do I sell more books? It's pretty easy. Number 2, how do I get newsletter subscriptions? That's also really easy. And number 3, what do I do with Substack? And so she got a job somewhere between our 2nd and 3rd call with an actual publishing company. I didn't ask her what it was, what the name was. She told me that it's somewhat big over there in the UK. I don't know who it is. And like I said, I didn't ask. I probably wouldn't say it if I did ask. I wouldn't say it on this podcast. But she kind of gave me the advice that she said that they are working right now in their company.
Okay.
And that is, in terms of selling more books, what she said is, if you have 3 books out in a series and you're going to do a Kindle Daily Countdown, you can alternate each book once a month. And you just go book 1, book 2, book 3, book 1, book 2, book 3. And she said, and if you have book 4, that's normal. You don't do any of that. But the goal is to just get as many eyes on those books as possible. She asked me if book 2 could be read as a standalone. And I said, absolutely it can. Super Editor C made sure of that because I didn't have it that way when I sent it to her, but she made sure that it can be a standalone. And she said what I should do is go ahead and just do a Kindle Daily Countdown on book 2. And then 6 weeks later, go back to book 1. And 6 weeks later, go back to book 2. And then once book 3 is out, just rotate all 3 of them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll talk about that in a minute because I've already set the whole thing up. But in terms of email subscribers, she said I could do ads if I wanted to. But what she thinks I should do is she thinks I should wait until my prequel novella is out, the one I'm going to shove onto BookFunnel and do it in every promo I can. It's book 0.5. My plan is to have that done by the end of this calendar year. So book 3 goes to the editor November 2nd. I immediately start work. It's already written. I just have to edit it. And it's only going to be about 25,000 words. So it's something I can probably edit in just a couple of months. And then once it's finished, then throw it up onto BookFunnel. And that's where you really start hitting the newsletter subscribers hard. I know a lot of podcasters talk about getting newsletter subscribers before they even have book 1 out. I don't really know how they do that other than ads. I don't really, maybe they know someone. I don't know. I still think about that story that I think his name's Barry Hutchinson. And I think he had a book called Space Team. I read his first one. It was really funny. It was really good. I liked it. But he did a talk when we were in London about, basically writing a book and publishing it on no but shoestring. But what was I forget what the term was. It wasn't, it might've been shoestring. I don't remember what it was.
It's like bootstrapping.
Bootstrap. That's what it was. Right. Bootstrap. So he told this whole story about he used this and it was free and he did this. It was free. And in the meantime, he had started to go into 20 books, the Facebook group and posting in there a lot, answering people, getting in there a lot. So when it was time for his first book to come out, he emailed Michael Anderle and said, hey, can you put this on your list that you send out to your email subscribers? And Anderle said, yeah, sure. And it's like, well, okay. We're not getting that lucky. Like that's right. You work. Don't get me wrong. You worked to make that done because you posted a ton. I'm not doing that. So like those kind of things always bug me a little bit. But they say you should have like as many newsletter subscribers as you can before your book is released. And I don't know, working to get him. I don't even like doing it, Rich. I don't like, if I get a publisher to take my books and pay me some small percentage, I'd really think about it because I don't want to do any of the other stuff.
Yeah. But, I'm doing something very similar to what Hutchinson did. I don't know if it'll work out in the end or not, but I'm cultivating ties on Substack with authors who are writing, who are not authors. They're essentially, what do they call them? Book reviewers. People who review books. But they also post other things as well. But they're all about the readers. They're not writing anything for the readers. They're just giving recommendations and talking about the book industry or that the readers from a direction that the readers would find interesting. So I try to frequent 2 or 3 of those people and get into their comments and correspond with them and also with other people. One of the women, she wants to do stuff on libraries, so I'm giving her information on libraries and how we work and what are the best ways for readers to use libraries. So I hope that in the end But when I get around to actually publishing something, I can drop it to her and say, would you mind mentioning this? Or at least looking at it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you're working toward it. That's great. And don't get me wrong, he did too. It's just the weird thing about the talk was, hey, here's how I did it on a bootstrapping. Oh, and by the way, I had one of the biggest self-published authors in the world send out his newsletter to just probably millions of people. It's like, well, of course you're going to succeed. It's like getting a book club, except you didn't have to pay for it. Like, of course you're going to succeed. It kind of bugged me in the talk itself. I don't mind. I don't have a problem with what he did. And I hope what you do, I hope it works out for you too. I don't think I want to do any of that. I don't want to. The next thing I had for her was Substack. So my plan right now, basically for the newsletter subscribers, is just to go organic, and if I can do enough sales in book 1 and book 2, doing this Kindle Countdown, I'll get some newsletter subscribers that way. And then when my novella comes out, I'll hit it pretty hard, just get as many freebie seekers as I can, and cultivate the list every now and then, and just take it from there. So that's kind of the plan.
David Cochran does not like Substack. Doesn't recommend it.
Neither do I, Rich. Neither do I.
Doesn't recommend that authors do it. But from all I can see, the main reason is that for some reason he thinks that the vast majority of what people do there is follow each other. And when you
100% what I think.
Well, when you follow but here's the clicker. When you follow people instead of subscribing to them, and that includes subscribing for free. When you follow them, the person you're following does not get your email address. But if you subscribe, even if you subscribe for free, you do get their email address. I have never had a follower on there. I don't know how people. I've never even see a follow button. So I'm not exactly sure how people are getting followers. So it's kind of weird, because I get everybody who has looked at my stuff and interacted with me, I have their email address. So I've got I don't know what it was, 25 or 22, whatever it is, on people who have subscribed to my stuff. So I'm not sure why he's so down on it, other than it's not. I mean, I can understand him saying that this does not take the place of a newsletter provider, because you don't have all the controls and stuff that you have. You basically just get to push whatever you post there out to the people. But if you capture their emails, you can pull those over into your own list and do whatever you want with them.
You can also put them into Facebook and Target, though. I mean, that's
exactly
big too.
Exactly.
So so when I said me too, that I didn't think you were talking about that. I thought you were talking about something else. My thought of Substack right now is that it's everybody on Substack is just following or subscribing to each other, and there's no real readers up there. And I could be completely wrong about this. I just feel like every post I see is another author saying, hey, I'm a new author. How can I hook up with people? Hey, I'm a new author. Hey, I'm new on Substack. How can I? And it's just like, I don't feel like these people are going to be my readers. Now, I did talk to her. This is my third question. What do I do about Substack? Because for me, I love Perry Mason. I enjoyed writing them. I did not enjoy having a deadline to write them. And I wasn't going to write one every week. I should have known. I mean, I know me. I should have known that ahead of time. And I'm already behind. I mean, I haven't posted one in like a month, maybe even longer. And I told her, I'm like, I just don't like doing it. I don't like, it's the same reason I don't post on Facebook every day or make Instagram reels all the time. I just don't like being, and I think the word is beholden, to have to do that in order to get followers.
Right.
And I understand that if you want to get followers, you have to have content. So I just don't think I care about getting followers there. Right. And she did tell me that's kind of a long game. That's and that's what, Sean Inman said back in the day about Facebook, which was you have to post a couple times a day or maybe a few times a week, be on schedule so people know when it's coming. I just didn't like any of that.
Well, what's nice about Substack is that you don't have to be, although I'm sure people are post on a schedule, but you don't have to do that, because when you post something, it gets pushed by email out to everybody who's subscribed to you. So they will know that it's that you've posted, because it shows up in their inbox, unless they specifically blocked you. And I think if they block you, they basically unsubscribe. That's the only way they can do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and what else I was going to say? Yeah, I think that's basically it. Oh, in terms of the notes feed, which is what you're talking about, in terms of authors appearing there. I noticed that, in the very beginning, I saw a lot of that. But as I've subscribed to people, it's now gotten to the point where my notes feed has almost none of that in it. because I think what happens is as you subscribe to people, you only their content is prioritized in the feed that you see. So if they're posting at all regularly, once a week, twice a week, whatever, when you pull that up, you're just going to see their posts, and you're not going to see a post of some random person on those.
That's funny, because I literally just went to it and I clicked on the home section, and the first post right at the very top is one Mr. Rich Casey.
Oh yeah,
so, from 19 hours ago. Yeah, but then it's the next one is like a genuine question: would you write if you still knew if you knew no one was going to read your book? The next one is I've written a novel. The next one is novellas. It feels like it's all authors to me, and I've always been taught, and I know this is wrong, but I've always been taught that like authors aren't buying your books; they're trying to sell their books to other people. And I know that's wrong, because I know authors do. I mean, James Blatch has built a lot of his sales off the fact that a lot of people like me listen to his podcast and buy his book. But so anyway, so that's where I'm. So I decided, what I told her I'm going to do is I'm going to stop on something. Now, I talked about getting rid of it, but I told her I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do a schedule. I might write another Perry Mason in the next couple of weeks. I have no idea. And if I do, I'll post it. Cool. I don't have any plan to, but it could happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate more on Facebook ads. So I asked her about this. I said, going back to, should I do Facebook ads to try to sell books, try to sell them now? And she said what she recommends is, if I'm going to do a Kindle Daily Countdown, let's say I'm going to spend $150 a month on Facebook ads, 150. Well, actually, give me a nice round number. Let's go 140, because it's a round number. So 140. So if I'm going to spend $140 in a month, like $5 a day, whatever the math works out to be, she said what I should do is take all 140 and do it during the time that I have the Kindle Daily Countdown going, and try to make as many 99-cent sales as I can, because those people will buy your other books. People will snap. You're more likely to make a sale at 99 cents than you are at $3.99. And those people then, if they like what they're buying, they would then go and pay $3.99 for the other book, which is part of the goal.
Right.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Facebook ads once a month or once every 6 weeks or so. And it's going to be during Kindle Daily Countdowns. And we're going to see what happens. I'm just going to see how this goes. I'm not going to worry too much about newsletter subscribers at the moment. But again, once that novella is out, that's when I'm going to hit it pretty hard. Starting probably January 1st or right around there next year is when I'm going to hit the book funnel pretty hard with trying to get as many promos as I can. Let's see. Overall, again, it was a good talk. I really enjoyed talking to her. And in a couple of months, I'll schedule 4 more calls with her. Again, marketing is what she does for a living, and it's a good publishing house. And I actually really enjoy just having an hour conversation with her about publishing. And, there's personal stuff. I know where she lives and, little things about her. I know she has a cat because it always jumps in front of the camera and things like that. But mostly it's publishing. But, kind of become friendly, which is nice. So.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, I just made a casserole. I made a big old potato chip casserole, and that was wonderful. And I still have some frozen that I might get out of my freezer at some point and eat the rest of it, because it's really good. Last Tuesday, I'm in the office at lunch. I did a little bit of writing, but not much. This is where I'm starting to use Claude to basically do my work, my programming at work. As I wrote in here, as I've been saying over and over again, I'm a vessel now. And the problem with doing this is, it's really fun. It really is to be able, I can say, hey, I want you to do the most complicated thing in the world. And it's like, okay. And 10 minutes later, it's done. And again, it's scary and fun. But the problem with it is when it's, 11:50 and it's going to be lunchtime soon, I'll be like, I can do one more thing. And then it's 11:58. I can do one more thing. And then it's 12:04. I can do one more thing. Like, that's just how it goes. So I didn't actually start my lunch until 12:10 on this day. And by the time I was finished eating and updating my outline, updating this outline, it was 12:30. So not a whole lot of writing. I did write 656 words in 23 minutes on the next chapter, which I think was chapter 8. Again, I have my timer set up in my my app that I really love. I also made it so that every time you hit stop on the timer, it automatically downloads a JSON file of everything, including your characters, your chapters, every book, everything. And then there's an import section where you can go in and pick and choose what you want to import. So if you just lose one chapter, you can go find it and just import one chapter, and now it's back. And it's kind of a way to, if you lose something, you can get it back. Right. So on this day, I also exchanged some emails with the driveway guy. This is the guy that gave me a quote for $8,000. It's my first quote was 10. This guy was 8. So I figure I'm pretty much hitting the low end. So I just said, yeah, let's do this. I've been in the house as of September 1st this year. I'll be in the house 25 years. Never done a thing to the driveway. It's blacktop, slowly falling apart and breaking away. And I said, yeah, let's do this. He said, okay, you're on the calendar for the week of July 20th. And I'm actually really excited to see what it looks like when it's done. golfed in the evening, shot a 48 again, not terrible.
Just as an aside, you're doing it in mid-July. You probably won't be able to drive on it for 2 weeks or something.
Let's hope it's cool.
I one time ran a race. I was at a meeting in Raleigh, North Carolina, midsummer, and they had just blacktopped the road. And I ran a 5K. I swear to God, I could feel the asphalt gripping my shoes as I was running. It was horrible.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a good idea. I'm actually really excited about it. I mean, it would look so nice when I moved in, and I've literally done nothing to it. So I'm really, especially having the electric car, which is a bit heavier than a normal car. It's doing a little bit more damage than good right now. So when it comes to the driveway. So in the evening, I did golf. I shot a 48 in my league. Not terrible, but I did lose my match 16-4 as we started the second half. I got blown away. The guy golfed against played really well. Wednesday, a week ago today, I worked from home. Ended up playing my football game at lunch, so I didn't do any writing on that day. Let's see. Yeah, really nothing. Yeah, no, I just want to get to the next game, and there was nothing in the evening. I just kind of hung out and did nothing. Thursday, I worked in the office. I added 531 words to chapter 8. And again, nothing all day. I got home, didn't do much of anything. I did make a quick change to my writer's app in terms of the start-stop timer and what it does when you hit stop. Other than that, not much. Now, Friday is a holiday. It's July 3rd, but that's our holiday for work for July 4th. Did not work that day. The plan is to write at lunch. Okay, I wrote this in the outline strangely, but I'm thinking I did it on purpose. I'm just gonna read from it here. The plan is to write at lunch, but I wanted to first work on my writer's app a little more. Again, every time I use the app, I come up with a couple more things. But the first thing I did was I actually subscribed to Claude, the $20 plan for Claude.
Okay.
I set it up in VS Code, and now I'm using that for my writing app. I'm using Sonnet 5, which according to Claude should get me like the same in terms of usage limits tokens as GPT 5.5. Mm-hmm. And while I was using that, I never hit the limit. So we'll see how this goes. If I do hit limits, I will stop the subscription and I'll go back to ChatGPT. But so far, I'm a week and a half in or so, and it's worked great because I don't do it every night. I don't do it for hours. I might sit down for an hour or two here or there, maybe a half an hour one night, things like that. So,
are you on a weekly limit or a daily limit?
So it gives you you get a certain amount of tokens in 5 hours.
Okay.
And then it resets, and you also get a certain amount of tokens for the entire week.
Okay.
Is how it works. Yeah. The next thing I wanted to do was clean up the code. So why did I write that? Oh, so this is okay. So this is my writing app, right? This is this is my writing app. So one of the things I wanted to do, and I hadn't really done this with GPT yet. I wanted Claude to actually analyze it. So I went in and I just said, Claude, when I wrote this app, I was basically copying and pasting code back and forth from the ChatGPT web window into my VS Code. And a lot of times there was probably code in there that didn't be needed anymore because I switched something. I'm like, I didn't care. It wasn't the same. It wasn't just letting you go in and do it. It was me copying back and forth, which can get kind of ugly. The CSS files were huge. They were terrible. So I did ask Claude, can you just go in and clean this code up? And it deleted so much things that were not, so many things that were unused and not being needed anymore. And by the time I was done, it had a smaller file, which was great. Didn't kill any of it. It didn't hurt it at all. It just deleted a bunch of stuff that was unused. I created a bunch of unit tests, which I didn't really know. I knew the term unit tests, but up until about 2 weeks ago, I didn't know what they were. But it turns out that when you compile your app, it'll run these little tests in the background on different parts of the program and make sure that they run so that when it compiles, so if you change something over here on this window and you accidentally break something way over here and you don't know it, that unit test will catch it for you. And which is great. The program I'm working on at work for the last month or so has like 430 unit tests that run. It's a really small program, but run every time you compile it, runs 430 unit tests just to make sure you didn't break something anywhere else, which is great. I made a note to myself that I wanted to go through my subscriptions. I do this every couple of months. I go through the subscriptions that I'm paying and then I cancel stuff if I don't like it. For example, I'll probably cancel the $20 ChatGPT subscription that I've had for years if the Claude is working out, and so far so good. I'm going to give it a month though, and we'll see what happens. And I went through it, some of the other stuff, and took a look at them. Let's see. I did cancel Pro Writing Aid and Grammarly to not auto resubscribe over the next couple of months. They're both set to do that, and I said, nope, we're not doing that. I'll probably use Grammarly. That's my favorite one, but I don't know if I'll probably just resubscribe to it, or maybe I won't. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
What else? The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to give Claude Code access to my Kanban board, but it did not have access to this third-party website. So I just said, okay, well, how about this then? Just add a Kanban board into the app. And it did. It took, 15 minutes. And now I have my own Kanban board that has an admin in the app. I'm the only one that can see it. And if I want to, I could build like a roadmap page out of it, which I haven't done yet. But if I want to do that, I can. But now, while I'm writing, if I see something that needs to be changed, I just click home, Kanban board in the same app, type it in there, and then go back to my writing. And I just keep going all in the same, everything inside the same app is my goal with this whole app, is everything I do. I don't want to have to go anywhere else. Everything inside the same app. So
I need to go back into there and take a look at it and see how it's. It's tremendously different, I know, from the last time I looked at it.
Yeah, when you log in, I had ChatGPT create me this banner that goes across the top. It's beautiful, and it's so much more compact than it was. I'm just so happy with it right now. Let's see, what else did I do on this day? I made more changes to the app, and then so then my buddy's son just turned 16, looking for ways to earn money, and I hate cutting my grass, so I figured I'll just pay him to cut my grass. So he came over around 9:30 to cut my grass, and I took Max to my mom and dad's afterwards. Then I went to Panera. So I was, that's what it was. That's what I didn't mention is earlier that's why I said, okay. So the reason I said the plan was to do an afternoon lunch and then go do some stuff in the morning and then do an afternoon lunch is because that was the plan. But sometime in that morning, my sister sent me a text and said, hey, I'm coming home. I'm going to go to Rockneys around 12:30. Do you want to meet me there? I'm not telling anybody else. And I was like, sure.
You can't pass up a trip to Rockneys.
Love Rockneys. But I found a Panera that was pretty close to it. So I spent about an hour at that Panera, maybe an hour and a half at that Panera. So I got some writing in, which was good because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have got any writing that day. I ended up getting 822 words in chapter 8, finished off the first scene, and then I went off to Rockneys for a really good salad, hang out with Lindsay and Paris and my nephew and her Paris's boyfriend. And of course, I'm a good big brother. And I thought to myself when the waitress came over and said, "Who are we splitting this up?" I just thought to myself, what would my dad do? Well, I know what my dad would grab the check because that's what he split. So I just took the check. And Lindsay called me money bags, which is funny because I think she does better than me. Then I was home to play some of my APB. Oh.
Has she moved back to Ohio now? Or
yeah, she's in Dayton now.
Okay,
yeah, she's in Dayton.
Yeah.
So I was home to play some APBA football afterward. Now I'm still in 1989. I'm playing the Saints 49ers. Montana and Rice for the 49ers. They went 14-2 that year, and the Saints actually had a 24-7 lead at halftime. And I was thinking the entire time, okay, the 49ers are going to come back and win this game, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. They won in real life. And it didn't happen. The Saints ended up winning 31-28 in a really, really fun game.
Cool.
So after that, not much of anything. Around 9:30, I was sitting on the couch and I heard this loud noise and I thought it was rain, but it turned out it was wind. We had some of the highest winds I remember around here. Power blinked on and off briefly. We had a small thunderstorm for a couple hours. A tornado hit about 20 minutes south of me. Was that might have been it might have been Saturday or Sunday actually, but and then ended up going to bed around 11:45. And unfortunately, on Saturday, July 4th, I had to get up at 5 a.m. to go golf. And there were only two of us. I shot an 85, which again, I'm always happy with an 85. Could have played better, missed some putts. But when I came home, I actually stayed here in Newton Falls, here in town, and I went to the Dairy Queen. They got a great little seating section that's off from everybody else where I can sit. And I ended up working on finishing chapter 8, and then I started chapter 9. It was a total of 1,398 words between the two of them. And I actually had a Post-it note written out in the morning of the 8 things I wanted to do on this day. And then once I got home, I actually did none of them. I was really tired and just kind of sat around in the evening and I listened to fireworks. They happened behind me, not too far away from me. And I was in bed by 11. So there you go. Sunday, I am talking so much right now. Sunday, I'm up around 6 a.m. I did a couple items on my Post-it note, that including cleaning out my freezer so that I could go buy myself a Dairy Queen ice cream cake, which I did. Ooh. They have Blizzard ice cream cakes. I didn't know those.
I love those ice cream cakes. Yeah.
I got a chocolate brownie supreme Blizzard ice cream cake. It's in my it's so good. So good. Yes, so good.
I got a Baskin Robbins just around the corner. I might have to go get there and get myself.
Do they have ice cream cakes? Is that a Dairy King thing?
Yeah.
Oh, they do. Okay, nice. Yeah. They're so good. And then I went through more of my recurring bills on a monthly basis. I canceled a few things, and which felt good. And then I was off to Panera to work on chapter 9. Finished chapter 9. Then I wrote chapter 10. Total of 2,510 words in about 100 minutes, an hour and 40 minutes. Came home, played my football game, cleaned up my house. And this is where I actually pointed samnorrisbooks.com. What I did is I just redirected it to jerryevanoff.com/murder mystery. So if you go to samnorrisbooks.com, you'll just see my page with, I didn't really want to do anything new. There was really no reason to, but I wanted to get that page pointed somewhere because at some point I'll be able to tell somebody, samnorrisbooks.com, which I'm
right.
Monday, I woke up in the middle of the night Monday to these alerts on my phone. It's probably like 2 a.m. that someone may have compromised my Microsoft account. And they were legit. They weren't like spam emails. They were like the Microsoft alert and a Gmail alert from Microsoft. And I did what you're supposed to do. I cleared all the alerts and then went back to sleep. And then I woke up at 4:15. Now I'm going in the office on this day, so I'm getting up at 4:45. So I woke up at 4:15 and they were all back. And I'm like, oh God, I guess I got to do something about this. So I came downstairs and changed my password. No problems. Didn't seem like anything was really broken up at all. I think Microsoft probably declined them each time. It was like someone tried to access your account.
Right.
So I just went in and changed my password and everything was fine. And then I was up early, so I went to the office. At lunch, I did some writing, 591 words into chapter 11. And then in the evening, played my football game and then went to bed. I went to bed at 8:30 Monday night. And I went to bed and I just kind of laid there for 40, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, just looking at Instagram and looking at news and sports scores. But I just was I was laying on the couch, just falling asleep. I'm like, I'm just going. I'm getting up early again. I'm just going to bed. Yeah. So, and then yesterday, I'm in the office. I wanted to get my 2 days of the week in the office over with. So I did Monday, Tuesday, and that means I'm home the rest of the week, which is nice. So I'm using Claude Code at work. And when my coworker, my coworker boss, when he explained to us a few weeks ago about Claude Code, he said that what Claude, he uses a bunch of agents, AGENTS. I thought he said Asians at first, which was weird. He uses a bunch of agents. Yeah, seriously. In this context, it's weird. So, and he was trying to explain how he uses.
In this context, it's weird, but it would make perfect sense, actually.
100%. Yeah. So he uses agents. So what Claude does is it uses these agents that he made to do his work. And I don't really understand. I didn't understand it then. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't really understand it then. But Monday I was at work and I was filling up my context window really fast at work. I'm using, what's it called? Not Haiku, not Sonnet, Opus. I'm using the newest Opus, and it's a 1 million character context window, and I'm using it up. I'm using it up in like half a day. I'm using it up with the code that I'm working on. And I asked it, I said, how do I use this less? How do I fill it up slower? And the first thing it said was, well, you should use agents. And I'm like, okay, can you please explain to me what an agent is? Because I don't understand it. And it said this. It said, imagine Claude has an intern. And Claude has a bunch of files with paperwork in it. And instead of filling up the context window with the contents of those files, Claude spins up a new version of itself, its intern, hands everything to the intern and says, just give me the results. The results come back, and that's all that's in the context window. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's in my mind, it's very similar to having a call to a function in programming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because then it doesn't do the heavy lifting. The call the function does, and then returns back a value or an answer or whatever. Yeah. So I said, okay, I want you to do this more, but I want you to put in the chat window when you're doing it so that I can see it happen. So I saw it once Monday evening, afternoon before I left work. Tuesday morning, I saw it again. And then I saw it a third time. And I was like, listen, Claude, you're going to have to do me a favor. Here's what I want you to do. Because it created an agent, and it was like, I'm going to get my net warning operator agent. And I was like, no, we can't have that. You need to start naming these agents after 80s TV characters so that when I see it happen, and I wrote so that if you can say, hey, I just deployed Alex P. Keaton to go out and do this for me. And then later on, you can say, hey, Alex P. Keaton just got me results. And Claude was like, that's a great idea. In fact, I have one out in the field right now trying to solve a problem. I'm going to call that one MacGyver, because who better to solve a problem than MacGyver with a paperclip and a SQL query? And it's like, so now Claude is not only doing this for me, it's naming them after people. It's naming them kind of based on who the characters are versus what it's trying to solve. Because a little while later, it said, I'm going to name this one Higgins. Higgins ran the estate for Magnum P.I. because I'm going out to look at data. I'm trying out to look at something, and Higgins is the perfect person for this. So throughout the day, I had Higgins, I had Magnum P.I., I had Sonny Crockett. I forget who the other one was. And I'm so laughing and happy every time I see this happen. It makes me so happy. So
I actually did this manually when I was creating agents. I would give them names. I had one that was named Marlowe because that's my main character, was doing stuff. And then I had one that was called Bartleby the Scrivener because I knew I would hardly ever have to ask it to do anything. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It's good. I was originally going to do 80s NFL players, but then I thought, no, let's do TV characters. So that'd make me laugh harder. So that's exactly what I did. So, yeah. So at lunch, I honestly, Rich, I had zero interest in writing at lunch on this day. Like I did not want to do anything writing with Sam Norris and his buddies and what's going on the mountain. So instead, I spent the entire hour creating Kindle Countdown, daily countdown for book 2. I think it's July 20th is the same week as my driveway. I'm pretty sure it's the week I set it up for. So over that hour, I set it up in Kindle. That's easy. You just go in and set it up. I went to Written Word Media and I bought a promo stack, also very easy. And then you get to the hard part. That's creating a Facebook ad. Gross. Their interface, I think, has gotten worse since the last time I used it 2 months ago. And it's really bad. They make it really complicated. So I opened up a new window with my old one. And I basically just tried to mimic what I did in terms of the audience. I did add a little bit more to the audience, but the way that it's all set up, the headlines I use, I put them in the same places and I changed them a little bit. I had to go into BookBrush and create a new picture that said basically, here's the book cover. And then on the right side, it says, can be read as a standalone. That was something that Ellie told me to make sure people know it's book 2, but it can be read as a standalone. And then 99 cents limited time offer, that kind of thing. And by the time I was done, I had the whole thing set up. The only thing is I went really fast on the Facebook ad. So I do have a note to myself that between now and when it goes off, just go back and check it and make sure I didn't make any mistakes because you never know.
I know this is probably impossible because Meta would never allow this, but I wonder if they have like an API that would allow Claude and ChatGPT to go in there and create these things for you. But the second best thing would be just to go to Claude and ask, okay, I want you to use state-of-the-art best practices and create me a Facebook ad for XYZ and see what it does.
Yeah, I'm making a note for that right now.
Yeah.
Because that's a great idea. I didn't think of that. Even if it just gives you step-by-step instructions, that's a fantastic idea.
But actually tell it, I want you to create this ad. And I think it'll do it. I think it'll do it.
Well, it has to have access to Facebook, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it would create the ad in terms of all the different parts. You'd probably have to transfer them in. Yeah.
Sure.
Because I don't think there's an API that Meta would never allow that because they want you to use their whatever their AI is.
And they want you to use it because they have all this crap turned on that doesn't work for you. They want to put it on every single piece of social media they own. Right. They want you to use all their AI, extra stuff that doesn't matter either. Like it's just, you have to, basically when you go in to set up an ad, you uncheck everything and then you just put a few things in. That's all it is. And it's horrible. So in the evening last night, golfed. I think last night when it was 82 degrees, it was worse than last week when it was 95 when we were golfing because it was so muggy. It was just sweaty. I shot a 51, which is terrible, but I did get a 9 on one hole where I hit a ball to the left. I hit my second shot 3 feet, hit the next shot into the sand, got out of the sand, hit the next shot back into the sand, flew the green. And then missed a putt, right on the edge, whole deal. So I got a 9. You give me a 6 on that hole, and I'm at 48, and I'm pretty happy with a 48. Yeah. So it was really just one bad hole. So
before you go on today, though, I want to go back to the bullet point that starts at lunch, and I want to make sure that you were not actually eating a frozen lasagna, that you heated it up first.
I did heat it up first. Okay. Yes, okay. I did. Yeah, you can only make that mistake once before you stop making that mistake. Yeah. Today worked from home again, and we had our book club at lunch. We talked about the book, My Friends by Frederick Bachman, I think his name is. And I did not open it. I didn't even open it. Like I never read one single page of it. I just listened to the other 7 people talk about it. I threw my 2 cents every now and then where I kind of just asked questions just to keep the conversation going when I felt like it was, well, actually when I had questions, I just kind of asked questions. There ended up being 9 of us in there. Yeah. 5 in the building and then 4 on the phone. And then but we talked about the next book we're doing, which is this one right here. This bad boy right here. And then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I'm so excited. I almost want to crack this open. It still has the plastic on it, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to keep it. It's like the gold-plated Barnes & Noble exclusive thingy. Oh, actually, there's 3 books in here, not just one. Okay, I thought this was just one book, but there's actually, and then There Were None and other stories are in here.
Yeah.
I did get it from, I bought it years ago. So I just pulled it up on my phone in Kindle and I think I'm going to listen to it this time. It's 265 pages. I think it is. It's short.
Yeah, they are short.
But I'm excited. Nobody else there has read it. Like I'm excited about listening to other people talk about it because it's my favorite book. I love it.
Nobody has read it? Wow.
Yeah, nobody in that book club has read And Then There Were None. The 5th best selling book of all time. Nobody has read it. It's hilarious. Would you like to take a shot at some of the other four? Let's play. You want to play a little game and play a little Family Feud?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull. I know what two of them are, but I don't remember what all of them were. So let me pull this up on my computer. We'll say of all time. This is fiction only. And I'm going off of what Google's AI tells me. So you know it's definitely correct.
So fiction books, known fiction books that people have never really read. Is that it?
No. These are the best. Actually, I'm going to go to Wikipedia, which is even less reliable. This is the best-selling books of all time fiction, and it has the numbers in here. So I will say, and then there were none is fifth. Would you like to take a shot at the top four? I've heard of two of them.
Okay, fiction books. It, Stephen King, Carrie.
No.
Stephen King? No Stephen King at all.
No Stephen King at all.
Okay,
In fact, I don't see him in the top. I don't even see him in like the top 50.
Yeah, I don't even know then. It's probably it's probably adjacent to the stuff I kind of read.
One of them is a huge series, and her books she's got like 8 books in the top 20.
Okay.
If that helps. And it's a recent series in the last 25 years. And it's also a big movie series at the same time.
8 books in a series? Oh,
Probably,
you mean
I don't know how many, right around
Harry
there.
Potter books, you mean?
So Harry Potter is 4th. It's the Philosopher's Stone / I assume Sorcerer's Stone. I'm not sure if it's
What about the Song of Ice and Fire? Is that there?
Man, let's see. What was his name?
Yeah. Now that you asked,
Tolkien. No. Is it Tolkien? No. R.R. Something R.R. something.
Martin.
Martin. No. I don't see him in here.
George Martin. Yeah.
George R.R. Martin. Yeah, you can tell how much of those books I actually read. We're not going to do this for very long, people. Don't worry. There it is. Okay, so it's in the top, I don't know, 30 or so, but it's near the bottom.
Okay. So you mentioned another one. It's got to be in the top 10, which is Tolkien.
Yeah, I think I made a misstep on that one. Now, he's actually 7th.
Oh,
and it's The Hobbit. It's The Hobbit. So number one, we'll get number one, and then I don't know the other two. So number one is I believe from the 1800s, mid 1800s, a very famous author. I'm sure for him it was the best of times and the worst of times.
Tale of Two Cities, really?
Yes, that's number one according to Wikipedia.
Wow.
Greater than 200 million books.
I'm kind of surprised. Huh.
Me too. The other two are The Little Prince, Le Petit Prince by somebody, and then The Alchemist by Paulo.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm surprised
Portuguese.
at that. I've read that one, but I'm surprised that it's made that high on the list. But I do know it was a real rage at the time when it first came out. Yeah.
What's the year of that? That's 1988. Oh, I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones that surprised me on here is the Da Vinci Code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right around 10th.
Okay.
And then it goes Harry Potter, The Catcher in the Rye, Harry Potter. She's got to have so much money.
Oh, she's a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her for sitting down and writing a book in a notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so we had our book club. We talked about that stuff.
Doing a spreadsheet on paper.
Yeah, exactly. She did her own story grid before story grid was a thing.
Did you go to the when we were in Scotland? Did you go to the tea shop where she wrote it?
I did not.
Me and Tammy did. Yeah, we went there.
Did you? Okay.
Tea. Yeah.
I did not. That's kind of fun. Okay. All right. And then the last thing I wrote on the outline for my weekly recap, which is, boy, I've been talking for so long. It's just, I just wrote the word waffles. I had waffles for dinner. I'm not sure why that needed to be in the spreadsheet, but it is.
Well, that's good.
And now we're podcasting, and that was my last 13 days or so. Wow, I talked for so long.
Savory waffles, as in chicken and waffles, or were they?
They were actually just blueberry waffles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were good.
Egos?
Yes, of course.
Of
course. I put them in the air fryer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my 2 weeks was definitely not as involved as yours. That's for sure. So each one of my days is pretty much the same. I get up and I go to work. I come home, and the days I don't get up and I go to work, I get up and I go to work outside, and then I come in and I collapse because of the heat. And it was really a weird week last week too, because of the way my work schedule went, and because of the 4th, the way it broke out. So I worked Friday. I had Saturday off. I worked Sunday. I had Monday off. So, and then now I've worked Tuesday and Wednesday. So it was really weird. So I just, somewhere in there, I crammed in a little bit of writing, got the itch to scratch on paper, as I mentioned earlier. And yeah, I just wrote down a few things, and I hope really to keep that going into the future. But got a lot of work ahead of me both in the yard. I think I mentioned maybe last time we podcasted that I was having the next day delivered like $2,500 worth of lumber and supplies. That showed up on time, and that's when I'm working my way through it. It's going to take me probably until Thanksgiving to get it all done. But whenever I get a chance, I'm out there and I'm putting up fencing.
Is that when the temperature like goes below 80?
No, I go out there even when my wife, because she's got one and she was afraid that I would kill myself out there, bought me an ice vest, which is basically a mesh vest with all these pockets in it where you put in frozen gel ice packs. And it actually works pretty well. It keeps you going pretty well. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, you still get beat, and I still go. I drink a gallon of water, and you never take a piss once. But
do you have the time? Because you used to write a lot at the library. Do you not have time during your workday?
And that's the thing I mentioned either to you before we started recording, or once we started. Because we're shorthanded, we had a person retire, and because I've got two of the people I work with are just totally erratic about when they decide to show up and not show up. And I guess because they don't want to get rid of them because they're at least, the devil they know. Yeah, a lot of times in the last couple of weeks especially, I've been there myself for half the day, where there should be at least two people on the desk. I'm sitting there by myself. So yeah, I just don't have the time anymore. Now I'm hoping, now that the millage has passed, that before fall comes, that we'll actually replace the person who retired, and we'll get back more to the kind of deal where at least a few times a week I would have a few hours off where I could just, play around and write in the back and do whatever I wanted to. Hopefully that'll happen, but there's no guarantee. So yeah, my days are just working here, working at the library, and very little time for anything else, unfortunately. And we'll just have to see what happens as we get into the end of summer and into the fall. Maybe I'll change. So my only goals I have on my future list of things to do, I got to start writing again, but I've done that. So I just keep writing. I need to write at least a little bit every day, and I've been kind of doing that.
What are you writing right now? Is it?
Well, I picked up a new project, or not a new project, but an old project that I started. 13 Days of Madness, which is a fictional account of a person's midlife crisis as they travel through Scotland with one of their co-eds. And I want to loosely, I think I mentioned that, want to loosely base it on the Lost in Translation movie, which is Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, and the unlikely relationship between the two of them that develops when he's in Japan and she's in Japan. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm having fun with the little bit that I've done so far, but it's mainly because I kind of like the comparison between a sad sack, 50-year-old person who's going through a divorce and a college-age co-ed who's just on the way up in terms of her life and is just full of vim and vigor. And it's just the comparison of the two is interesting to me right now. So.
Is it because you had talked last time about literary? Is it more literary, or is it just kind of genre fiction?
No, it could be. I'm probably not far enough in to tell for sure if it's going to be lean more literary. Right now, I think it's probably going to lean more rom-com than anything else.
Okay.
So, which will be something I've never really written. So that should be interesting.
Okay.
To start that. So yeah,
my writing list. Okay.
Basically, my writing activities have been nil, but not nil. They've been
not nil. Yeah.
Vanishingly small, but still there.
Well, greater than last time. Higher than last time.
Greater than last time.
Yeah. So my running list of future things to do hasn't really changed at all. It's just some ad stuff. In terms of my addicted to, I put down cheesy potatoes because I started doing my Walmart shopping, a bunch of months ago, but a couple weeks ago, I noticed that they had like a frozen dinner, and it was literally just like cheesy potatoes. And that's one of my favorite meals of all time, is just cheesy potatoes. So I bought like 2 of them a couple of weeks ago, and now every week since then I've been buying 4 of them. And it just becomes like a lunch or a dinner when I don't feel like cooking anything. And I did a grocery order today, something different. I did a Wednesday, and of course the one item they were out of was cheesy potatoes. And I'm so sad. I have 2 left in my freezer. I did. Yeah. And I'm worried that I have 2 left and now I don't want to eat them. Like, I just want to keep them. I don't know for how long, but I'm just sad right now. I feel like Elaine with the sponges during a
The one thing I did do last week, maybe it was on the weekend, because I still had a lot of potatoes left over from the garden. I took about half of them and I made this humongous pot of cheesy potato soup.
Oh, so good.
And yeah, we've been eating on that, and I probably made 2 gallons or maybe more of it. And I'm thinking maybe I'll have to start freezing some of it because we can't just get through it all. But it's been good, really good.
I'm gonna have to make some of that. I love potato soup. Yeah.
And I put mushrooms in because I love mushrooms. So we got kind of the potato and the cheese and the mushrooms. Yeah, really good. And then lately, cherries have been on sale here, and my wife loves cherries. I love cherries. We've been going through about 5 pounds of cherries every couple of days. She goes there, and that's what we snack on at night. Instead of having ice cream or anything, we have cherries.
Until you go buy this ice cream cake. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tammy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Looking at my schedule for this week, we'll podcast most likely next Thursday. Let's see. This isn't completely correct, so I'm gonna try to wing it here. Tomorrow, I am working from home. I have my writers club in the evening. I haven't gone to the last 2. I didn't go 2 months ago because I just didn't want to. I didn't go last month because I had a dinner for my birthday with some friends. I don't know if I'm going to go next month. I'm definitely not going the month after that. I don't really want to go, but I think I'm going to. I have to tomorrow at lunch. I'll have to edit chapter 1 if I want something to read. We'll see. But it is in the evening. Friday, I'm taking a half a day.
Are there people still showing up for it? Do you know if it's even still going?
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's still going. I mean, there's 6 or 7, 5 or 6, 6 or 7, something like that each month. It's completely different than it was. There's really only 2 people that are there who have been there from when I started. There are 3 people who I would, and myself, the 4 of us, I would count kind of the core. And then there's other people who have been coming for a year, a couple of years, the last few years, whatever, on and off, and a lot more on than off. But it's I think I mentioned before that Jake left. He's not around here anymore. So, and he was so good at critiquing, and without him, it's been kind of tough. I just haven't enjoyed it as much.
Yeah.
So then Friday I have a half a day. I will go write at 11 a.m. I'll go write, try to get a lot of words done. Saturday I have an early tea time, 6:32 a.m. So I'll come home and then I'll go somewhere and do some more writing. Sunday, again, Sunday I did not make a tea time for the afternoon. I'm pretty sure I'm done with it. I feel bad because one of my buddies who also signed up for the membership, he can't golf Sunday mornings and he can golf Sunday afternoons. And if I don't golf with him, there's a chance he doesn't golf enough times to make up for what he paid for the membership. But that's not on me. I mean, right. When we signed up for this originally, Sunday afternoon wasn't even a thing. I just tried it a month or so ago just to see how I liked it, and he liked it. I didn't, so I'm not going to do it anymore. So I may just golf Saturdays, and that's it. I might, I got a guy at work who might want to golf with me every now and then on a Sunday morning. But other than that, nobody can work, church, and there's some other reason. Oh, my one buddy who golfs with me, he might play, but he's got back problems. And in the morning, his back is bad, and in the afternoon, it's fine. So he was okay doing Sunday afternoons. He might want to do a Sunday morning with me. I don't know, but so I may have golfing Saturdays only. Some weeks, like this week, I'm only golfing Saturday. I don't have any plans for Sunday. Which I'm okay with because I love my Sundays.
But you're still doing the league on the weekday, right?
Yeah. I have Tuesday nights, and then it would be Saturdays. And then I'll golf with my buddy Tim on Fridays about once a month or so. Okay. So I'll still get it in. It's just the guy I used to golf with who moved to Myrtle Beach, retired, moved down there. For the first 3 or 4 years of me doing that membership, he was like me. He's there every time. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday, doesn't matter what's going on. He's there, I'm there. We had a twosome. If anybody wanted to come and play with us, they could. Well, he moved away, and the guy that I've been playing with the last couple of years was pretty much like that. Well, this year he's not. He didn't do the membership. He doesn't play out very often. It's disappointing. So so then Monday, I'll probably go back in the office Monday. If I can do Monday, Tuesday again, I probably will just get it over with. It's tough, but if I'm not golfing Sunday night, then Sunday night kind of sucks when you have to get up the next day for school or for work. And I'm making it so that I have to, but it's not so bad when I'm not golfing Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. So probably do Monday, Tuesday in the office. I'll write both days. And then Tuesday I will have my golf league. And then Wednesday I work from home. Thursday I'll work from home and I'll try to write. And then the goal, looking at the math, the goal is going to be pretty much going to be 6,500 words every week, because that equals, 3 lunches for work and 3 either half a day or weekend where I can write more. It's like 1,500, 1,000. That's actually 7,500. So I'm going to keep it at 6,500 and just see if I can blow by it. So that's what my goal will be for next week.
Okay. My goal for the coming week, tomorrow I have to work. I have a big Canva class. in the middle of the day, which will take up a lot of my time. Then at an evening, we have a book club. We're reading The First Women. I don't know if you've seen that book or not. It's about the relationship between, I can't remember her first name, Mrs. Bethuel and Eleanor Roosevelt. And this was post when Eleanor and Franklin kind of divorced in practicality, but not in actual physical proximity, because people didn't do that back then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he had an affair with her private secretary. So
really,
yeah. So they basically ended up, they took different living quarters, started living separate lives, and this is about the relationship between Eleanor Roosevelt and this black woman who ran the National Association of Colored People's Clubs for Women. So it's been pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to do a lot of cramming tomorrow before. If I get a chance to before the book club, because I'm not far enough through the book to say I've actually read it all, but it's been pretty interesting. It's all first person present tense, which is kind of weird to read.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, so I didn't enjoy it. The writing itself, I haven't enjoyed that much.
Like I walk to the store.
Yeah, essentially.
I take a fruit. That is weird.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's not so much present tense. Maybe it just kind of creeps in every now and then.
Okay.
I'll have to look at it again. Friday, I have off. Tammy is going to be gone most of the day, if not all day, at an orchid show where she is assisting in the judging of orchids. So I may just take Friday and just go to a coffee shop and write. She won't be outdoors working, so I won't have a chance to feel guilty that I'm not out there working too. So, I may just do that to try to keep this writing going. Saturday and Sunday I have off from the library, but I'm sure Saturday we'll be out in the yard working. Sunday will be church in the morning, and then my Sunday afternoons on a weekend where I'm not working, I usually just like to lay around, not do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any more soccer playing on Sunday or not, but I may watch some of that. I've been.
Are you watching that? I haven't watched a single.
I've been watching it off and on, little bits of it. I haven't had time. I can't sit down for 3 hours, justify, an hour and a half, 3 hours, whatever it takes to get through a whole game. So I've been, reading a lot about it and stuff. So it's been kind of interesting because it's not a sport I really follow. I did play it when I was a kid, but played it really badly. I was a goalie and I was horrible at it, so I didn't do it for too long. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will be working. Thursday, I think, is it next week or the week after? Thursday, I might be taking Tam to the airport. She's leaving to go visit her parents, so I may have like a week off when she's not here. So
nice. Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep writing in my notebook. At some point, I'll probably transition back to writing on the computer, and when I do that, I want to check out your app again for sure.
Yeah.
See what it's like. Stuff to share. We have to do training at the library every quarter, and they give you a whole big list of things you can do. And one of the things is you could do any of the courses that they have on this website in this group called Novelist, which is essentially a continuing education site for librarians. And it's all kinds of stuff in there. But the thing I chose to do was a crash course in graphic novels. It was like an hour and a half class, and it was pretty cool. They talked about the different styles, the different typefaces, went through all the many subgenres that they have in graphic novels. And right towards the end, they mentioned a graphic novelist that I didn't realize he was a graphic novelist because I've only known him as a regular novelist. Stephen Graham Jones. I think he writes his novels just as Stephen Graham's, and his most recent one of his that I've read was called Buffalo Hunter Hunter, where it's a mashup of Native Americans and vampires. He's a horror writer, or leans towards that. So I thought that was really cool, and he has a graphic novel series called Earth Divers, and he's Native American himself. So I love the first volume of that graphic novel. It's called Kill Columbus.
Fair.
And the second volume is called, and that is a mashup of post-apocalyptic Native American time travel.
Wow, okay, that's quite the combination.
Yeah. And the second one is
it Kill Andrew Jackson?
No. The second one was called Ice Age. And so I'm not exactly sure what that one's about yet. Our library had it. I checked them both out, and I started reading the first one today. I kind of like it. It's kind of interesting. I've not read many graphic novels because I'm more text oriented than picture oriented. But I like the artist. The artist's renderings of what's going on in the scenes is pretty interesting. And I think the only other graphic novels I've ever really read, I read Mouse when it came out because that was really famous. And then I read what was called a graphic novel, but it was more novel than it was graphics, and that was I Am Princess X by Sherry Priest. That was one too that I enjoyed. So yeah, I'm kind of spreading my wings a little bit here to see what other people are doing in different areas, especially since graphic novels are just so popular now. You get a lot of call for them at the library. We don't have a huge selection at our library. We do have maybe 1,000 or so issues of different things. I know over at the main branch of our library there's more, but it's just it's like comics for adults basically.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
I've never read one.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I opened a graphic novel. I don't know. I find it's like I feel like you're reading the comics where it's like just reading a text bubble and seeing the picture. I just never could get into. Yeah.
It definitely takes different parts of your brain to do it because I can feel it when I'm feeling my brain whacking back and forth between the text, wanting more text, but actually having to look at and interpret what's going on in the pictures, including facial expressions on the characters and stuff.
Right.
Which is an interesting thing to do. But the young kids, the teenagers and stuff that come in, I mean, that's what they're used to. They're used to doing that kind of thing, and they enjoy that more, at least right now, at their age, than they do the novels themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, if anybody out there likes graphics novels, or if you just like horror stories that are kind of a mashup of genres, check out Stephen Graham Jones. He's got some really good stuff out there.
All right, well, I have nothing to share this week, so that's pretty much going to be it for the podcast. Anything else we want to talk about?
No, I think that's probably it.
All right, if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me, jerry@jerryevanoff.com. The website is jerryevanoff.com, and you can go to samnorrisbooks.com, which will just redirect you back to jerryevanoff.com, but it's still there. And I like the way samnorrisbooks.com sounds. So I like that.
Yeah, I came really, really close today because it was time for me to renew my subscription for hosting for my website and stuff. And I've done absolutely nothing with it. Came really, really close to not renewing it, and thus would lose the Rich at richcasey.com email. At least for now, I did pay for the URL, both for that and for my press, Emerator Press. But I didn't. In the end, I did it for another year, and maybe this time next year, if I haven't done anything with it, then I may actually get rid of it.
Do you pay for ChatGPT or Claude?
No, I pay by the
token,
I guess. Yeah, because I go through open routing.
I was to say download VS Code, hook it up with either Claude Code or GPT's. It's called Codex, and then just tell it, this is what I want it to look like. And then what you can do is you can say, I'm going to put it into GitHub if you want to store your code somewhere in a cloud, which GitHub is the most popular. Then you can give it a kind of an SSH login key, and you can say, which is what I do when I make a change to my website. I just say, push this to GitHub and push it to my website. And I just sit back and it does the whole thing. I do nothing. It's wonderful.
I may have to learn how to do that. Yeah. I my biggest problem right now is that I have no idea what I want it to look like. So,
yeah, right.
Because I just haven't really thought about it much.
Just who cares? Just tell Claude, hey, this is where I am in my writing. Can you just make me a website that has these things on it and let it design it itself? Because it does it, and you can kind of manipulate it. That's pretty job.
I may try that. That would be a low investment way of
it's just a lot of fun
seeing what it can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am still on Blue Sky at Casey himself, and mostly on Substack now at richcasey.substack.com.
All right, everyone. That is it for this week. We should be back next Thursday, so 8 days from now. And until then, have a good one. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, take care, everyone.